Hi guys, today I'm going to talk a little bit about why the narcissist selected you or why they are with you as a partner. So this is so difficult to accept, but it is possible that the narcissist is with you for very shallow reasons. They could be with you because you have an apartment near the beach and they like to surf and they want an easy, convenient place to surf. They could be with you because you give them free food. They could be with you because you're a good cook. They could be with you because you make them look good. You provide a mask of normalcy for them to look good. You can legitimize them. You can make them look like like a monogamous, heterosexual, life partner, when in fact they're most likely not monogamous and they might not even be heterosexual. That's possible. You could be with them because you provide them money, and if you're very generous with your money, they love that. They may have you with them so you can help them pay a mortgage. And they may tell you that, oh, we're buying this house together. This is our house. This is our, we're together. You may even marry them, and then you find out that they were just using you to extract money from you and to have you keep the house up, do all the maintenance, clean the house, cook for them. I mean, basically you are, you could be like literally their maid, their personal chef. You could be their event planner. They are with you for the most shallow reasons. They are with you for what you can provide to them. Everything with them is, that's all they look at is what are you doing for them. They do not, anything they give to you, it is so strategic. They have a scorecard, and in their minds, it's a very distorted scorecard because they do not take into consideration your emotional, the emotional input that you put into the relationship. They don't, they don't take into consideration the love or the caring or the connection or the consideration that you put into the relationship. They are only with you for what you can provide to them. And if they deem that things are uneven, and perhaps, like if you get sick and you can't work as much as you used to, and you're not bringing in as much money as you used to, then they will probably get to a point where they will discard you because they must always, it has to be to where you're giving a lot more than they are. It can never be to where anything is close to equal, or God forbid, it can never be to where they think in their minds for a second that they're giving more. They are not givers. These people are pathological takers. So they are with you for what you can provide to them. They don't give a crap about you as a human being. They do not care about you. They are not emotionally connected with you. There's no bonding, there's no connection, there's no intimacy, there's none of that. That's why they're with you. They're with you for what you can provide to them. To them, you are just a source. You're a source of supply, of narcissistic supply. You're a source of possibly food, money, a place to live, anything that they can extract out of you that is what they're there. That's what they're there for you. That's why they're with you. They are typically going to be, if they're not using you for sex, then they are using other sources of supply for sex, whether that is prostitutes, the internet, affair partners, Craigslist, whether that is hookup sites, massage parlors, strip clubs. They almost all of them have this secret, deviant sex life. And if they're not having sex with you, they're having sex with other people, of one way or the other. They just look at it like, they just don't care. They don't care about how that might affect their partner. They don't care about the emotional costs. They're basically just there to extract what they can out of you. And God forbid if you start to get weak and you get sick, or you have some emotional crisis, or you go through some very difficult challenge where you're not able to perform, up to par. And keep in mind, you could be performing at 150%. You could literally be putting in 150% into the relationship, and they're basically putting in, next to nothing. And they're fine with that. They don't look at it like, they don't want equality. They don't want egalitarianism. They don't want things to be fair. They don't want to have to give, as much as you're giving. They want you to be giving and giving and giving. And if they have sucked you dry to a place where you literally have nothing left to give, then they consider that they don't need you anymore, right? They don't need you anymore. And if you're not making them look good by, helping to, keep their mask up, and if you start to, be onto them and suspect their double life, or if you start asking for them to be a full partner, like, forget it. It's not gonna go down well. So just know that if they're getting to the point where they're discarding you, it's because they've already found another source of supply, and that new source of supply may be somebody who's helping them at work. It may be a work colleague that's making them look good at work or helping them do their job. It may be somebody who has more money than you. It may be somebody who is not on to their mask. It's somebody who's still buying that mask of perfection that they are able to send to the world. It's skin deep. And as soon as that, eventually when that person gets into a relationship with the narcissist, they will find out that, eventually, it may take years, if you're with a covert narcissist, it could take you 8-10 years to figure out, what the situation really is. But if that person, gets into a relationship with them, eventually they're going to find out that they were being used, that they are just an appliance, that they are not, the narcissist can't see people as fully human. They really can't. They cannot see you for who you are. They don't see you as a human. They see you as somebody that's there to provide them a source of supply. So, whatever that source is. And, new people are not on to them. New people still believe that they're, perfect, and they buy into that mask. So, whatever that person is providing, it's some sort of narcissistic supply or money or job advancement. It's all very strategic in the narcissist's head. Whatever they just use people. Like I said, they're appliances. So I'm so sorry that this is, that you may have to be coming to this realization. It's a really difficult one to come to, but, you're being used. And, as soon as you start coming to terms with that, and you start realizing that this is not a reciprocal relationship, it's not even a real relationship, it is it's false. Your love is probably real, but do you even know who you love? Like you love a hologram. You're probably projecting all of your goodness onto this person and your good thinking and ideology onto them. And unfortunately, that's probably not who they really are. They don't even know who they really are. These are empty shells of people, right? They require outside validation. They glom onto strong personality people because they don't really have much of a personality for themselves. So they need people that are going to, that they can, be parasitic with, and that they can latch onto, that will make them look normal. I mean, they may even just be with you, like if they were in a relationship, say in college, they may have just been with that person so that person could, share their friends, because the narcissist has a really hard time often like making really any sort of deep connections or friendships, and they may need that college sweetheart to be like their conduit to other humans, and they may be using you as say if their job requires that they prove that they have, friendships through like maybe a security clearance or whatever, they may be using you to help them just get their security clearance. I mean, there is so many ridiculous reasons why they would be with you, but none of them have to do with reciprocity, true love, commitment, fidelity, monogamy, wanting a true partnership. None of it. They're not capable of any of that, and that's not even what they want. They want somebody who's going to buy into their mask. They want somebody who's going to give them money, food, shelter, housing, maid services, a mask of normalcy. They want somebody who's going to legitimize them. That's what they want. So I'm so sorry if you're in this, if you're coming to terms with this, but I think as soon as you truly come to terms with it, then that's where you're going to start getting some healing, and you can start finding a way to set yourself free from these very toxic, enmeshed, codependent relationships. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a really wonderful day. Bye-bye.